When people start something new, I think that they want to just hammer it out of the gate, and they're thinking, how do I make as much progress and gain as much traction as humanly possible right when the starting gun goes off? And people tend to get burnt out.
Remember, your process goals are useless if you can't be consistent. So make sure you choose ones that are crystal clear and easily executable.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode, number 1100. Are you living in the past, present, or future? Last week's live podcast. Today, for episode number 1101, or is it 1101? What do you think sounds better? 1101?
I think one of them sounds cooler.
Yeah.
The other one is easier.
Which one's easier?
1101.
1101 it is. One of the biggest mistakes we make when starting something new. I don't know where we were talking about this somewhere. I don't know if it was on the team call or maybe you and I behind the scenes. But one of the things I see very, very, very often. Oh, you know what it was? It was we were talking about people coming on the team. When people start something new, I think that they want to just hammer it out of the gate, and they're thinking, how do I make as much progress and gain as much traction as humanly possible right when the starting gun goes off? And people tend to get burnt out. People tend to have a negative reaction or an aversion to that after. I actually had a client message me today, Alan. She's launching a new podcast, and I try my best to ping my clients and just make sure I'm pushing them along at the right pace. And I said, hey, how's everything going? Everything on our end is all set up. Let me know what I can do to support you. We just need the intro, the outro, and your trailer with the music you want. Just let me know when you're ready. And we'd already gone over all that. And she said, honestly, I'm feeling a little discouraged because I got so much done last week, and this week I'm sick and I feel like I can't do anything. And I said, well, that's okay. I mean, you have to understand, number one, we have a bunch of time. And number two, what you were doing last week was not sustainable. And that's what we're talking about in this episode. One of the biggest mistakes we make when starting something new is we do not create it or build habits based out of sustainability. We build it out of something completely different. Maybe, I don't know, what we think is ideal. What's ideal in the beginning is usually what's sustainable. And we've seen this time and time again, Alan, so somebody will have a really good week or a really good month, and they'll say, you know what, I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more. The problem is you haven't even really been consistent with that first layer. I mean, yeah, a month, but in the grand scheme of things, a month isn't that long. I know it seems like a long time, but when things start to pile up, it's not. So my goal in this episode is for you to think of this. When I start something new, am I even thinking, wow, is this sustainable? Or is this a pipe dream that I'm going to do this every single day or whatever the thing is? Alan has exercised for 200 days in a row? Something like that?
203 as of this moment.
So imagine...
no, tonight will be 203.
203. Imagine if somebody said, you know what? I'm sick of not exercising. I really need to get my stuff together. I'm going to exercise every day. Not sustainable. Not sustainable for somebody who doesn't have the reps, who doesn't understand... they don't understand
unless it was like
fitness.
A really small amount of time. One of my clients today has 10 minutes a day. I do think that could be sustained. Yeah.
Fair. But oftentimes...
But a couple hours? No way.
Yeah, no way. So that's the goal in this episode, is when you're setting goals, when you're doing anything new, understand that usually the best plan is the one that is sustainable. And if you're not doing something sustainable, in a way, if you have high self-belief, maybe it's okay. But if you're somebody who is lacking self-belief and maybe you have lower self-worth, you're kind of self-sabotaging because you're going to feel bad about yourself when you're unable to be consistent with it.
Well, Kev, I think that When we started PPT, peak performance tracking, at the very beginning of me saying, Kev, you got to get on this train, man. This is the thing. This is the
Can you
future,
imagine me
right?
saying no to that? I was probably like, dude, get out of here with this spreadsheets. Get out of here with this, man.
And then you were burning down, and you were like, dude, I can't pay my bills. Like, I need help. And then I was like, okay, now's my chance. Now's my chance to hook him on phonics. Hooked on phonics.
I was hooked.
So he started with 5 habits. It's like track your weight, track your workout, track your calories, track your prospect once a day or something. Post on social media. Yeah. And now you're doing what, 25 or 24?
I don't even know what I'm doing. Less than you. You're doing more. The kid, I'm going to start adding stuff though.
Just random stuff.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
So I just recently got to 27 per day. And a lot of these things are very little, small things that I just want to be reminded of. And just so everyone knows, I'm only getting I'm averaging, I think, 84% or something like that. So I'm in the green, which is good. But if I had started at 27, there's no way.
No way.
I mean, there's no way, right? So start small and build is such an underrated thing. And that's why thinking long-term is so important. So, Kev. Yeah, man. I got to bring back a dramatic reading.
No.
No,
you do that right now?
No, yeah, I got to do it right now.
God help me.
So the reason why is because it's exactly what this episode is. So I wrote an article called Quantum Goal Setting. I've been talking a lot about it. If you're interested in it, link in the show notes. But one of the steps, there's 7 steps to quantum goal setting, and the 5th step is called process goals. And it's exactly what Kevin's talking about in this episode. So this is what I'm going to read. Now that you have the results goals you want, the results you want to achieve, the character traits you intend to develop, the inner circle you want to attract, and the skills you're going to master, it's time to set some process goals. I think of process goals as the runway in the vehicle. For example, when my results goal was to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks, the process goal was to exercise for 30 minutes per day. The vehicle was exercise, which we'll get to in a minute, and the runway was at least once per day for 70 days. Now, what I want to mention real quick, when Kevin and I set that goal to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks, keep in mind that we had already done fitness shows. We'd already done show preps. So I was a fitness model and a fitness competitor and a fitness coach for a long time. Kev was a personal trainer back in the day and had been working out for 16, 17 years at that point. So it's not like Kevin and I just randomly were like brand new to weight training and brand new to exercise and brand new to fitness. And we're both like, hey man, let's lose 10 pounds in the next 90 days. Worst idea ever. 10 pounds in 10 weeks was really challenging for Kevin and I, even though we have already done this for me 8 years at this point, for him 16 years plus. So the point that I want to make with this is a lot of times when people are talking about the goals they set, they already have done a lot of work over years and years and years, sometimes decades prior. So one of my millionaire mentors, for example, if his goal is to gross $3 million this year, that's because he's already done 2 million. He's already done 1 million. He's already done 500,000. And before that, he probably only did 100,000. And then before that, it was probably 50,000 when he was early in his career. So when someone says, oh, my goal this year, Kev, you remember we interviewed someone, and I'll keep it anonymous. This was early on. And after the interview, I said, Kev, I don't think that person's as aware as we thought. And here's how I know. He had a goal to put on 25 pounds of muscle in 1 year.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, now I understand. He just has very low awareness. 25 pounds of muscle in 1 year, unless you're taking every steroid in the world. Even then no way. But he just doesn't know that that's not doable. So there's certain tells for this. The point is that 25 pounds of muscle in 1 year is not sustainable. 10 pounds in 10 weeks, if you've never done a fitness prep before and don't have a fitness coach and haven't been doing fitness for years, is not sustainable. Start small and build. This is the last paragraph I'll read. To set your own process goals, think about each of your results goals and ask yourself, what is the simplest and most effective process that will maximize the probability that I achieve this goal? Simplest and most effective process. I said this, remember, your process goals are useless if you can't be consistent. So make sure you choose ones that are crystal clear and easily executable. So the reason I read that, Kev, is because simple and easily executable equals sustainable. And if it's sustainable, you can grow and incrementally improve Maybe you start with 5 minutes a day, then you jump to 10 minutes a day, then eventually it's 15 minutes a day, and then who knows, maybe you get to a half an hour a day. If I had chose 3 hours a day, there's no possibility that I could have gotten to 203 days. Even a half an hour is right on the sweet spot. I would say if it was 45 minutes, I'm gonna be humble right now, I don't think I would have been able to do it.
Hey guys, my name is Jake of Valvalon, and I just finished Next Level Group Coaching. When I joined, I wasn't sure what I was walking into. But during the entire course and the program, I figured out it's not something that I wanted to do, it's something I needed to do. They helped set me on the right path with learning how to do PPTs, peak performance tracking, and every 2 weeks I was gaining new awarenesses and getting a lot more happier, first of all, my health, wealth, and love, but also winning more practically and tactically in business. So if you're looking to upgrade your life and get to that next level, definitely sign up for that group coaching.
It's interesting too because, and I've told you this before, I coach every podcast client a little bit differently, and I'm always thinking of, yeah, we could get you an expensive camera and we could get you all of these things, but that's not sustainable for you because you're early in the learning curve. That would overwhelm you more than anything. I had a potential client reach out today who I had a call with a while ago, and he's like, hey, I just want a reminder of what do you offer, and I just sent him a quick audio message, which I to Alan's point, you told me this the other day, I need to stop doing because I'm jeffing my voice talking so much. But I said, this is what we offer. This price. And he's like, oh, everything's included for that price? I said, yeah. I said, you have to understand, we're trying to make it sustainable for both ends. Not just us. We don't want to, we're making a ton of money. Hopefully the clients will figure it out. I said, it has to be sustainable for both ends. We have to be able to justify the cost. And my goal is to help you make that back, to make it more sustainable. Everything, and again, much of this is to Alan's credit, everything that we're trying to do is based on how sustainable is this ultimately. You've heard recently I went on, and again, not from a braggy ego place, but I went on 90 shows in 30 days or something. I did 90 episodes in 30 days. Not sustainable. Not at all sustainable. Burn me to the
days.
Ground.
Yeah,
yeah, something like that. Not
Lost
at all
your
sustainable.
voice, got sick.
Yeah, it was bad. I was like, my body is like shutting down. It's like, this is absolutely brutal. But we learned a lot, and now we figured out, oh, you know what? Maybe 10 other shows per week. So basically, I mean, still think about it. It's close
per
to
week.
It's close to 20.
Because you've got 7 for us, then you've got 1 for Podcast Growth You.
Yeah, so we're
and
looking
then
at
you've got
18 to
10.
20.
So you're looking at 10. So 18 times 4, essentially.
Yeah.
72. That's much lower.
God, it's higher than I thought, though. My goodness.
Yeah.
But so think of that. We found what's not sustainable, and we said, well, maybe this is a little bit more sustainable. Sometimes you hit the limits to figure out what sustainability is. But really think about that next time you start something. It's not just starting now. It's how long can we do it for? How long can we do it for? That's the ultimate goal, long term. Go ahead, sir.
Kev, let's
Jeff.
take the listeners behind the scenes. I mean, because we were doing other shows for years before that. Your first ever other show was Anthony Trucks.
Yes.
If we were to look at the date on that, 2 years ago? Year and a half at least.
Longer than that.
Okay, so that's my point, right? So it's really cool to say, remember when we shared that with someone and they thought we misspoke? Because when you said 90 episodes in 28 days, they were like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, that sounds really cool. It was at the Happily Ever After party. I think it was Eddie.
Oh.
And he was like, wait, holy crap. And that's really impressive, but that's not the whole story. You ready for the whole story? Real quick. Okay, Kevin and I went on Anthony Trucks' show 2.5 years ago, and we started to get on other shows, and it was one a month, then eventually maybe one a week, then eventually it was like maybe a couple a week, and then we were both going on shows, and then eventually it was even less than that. We were trying to figure out how to ramp it back up, and then I remember I was going on a ton of shows for a while there, and then we flipped it and got me behind the scenes coaching more and you doing more podcast stuff, because that makes perfect sense. You're a podcast coach, and I'm a business coach. And then eventually Laura came on the team. Laura started to ramp it up and crush it. And remember, we didn't even have Matchmaker or Podmatch, any of these things. Like, there's a whole story that isn't said. So when you hear one soundbite of 90 shows in 28 days or $100 million in 50 years or no 50 days or whatever. I don't know. I'm screwing it up because I don't do that. But what was it that Brandon posted this? We have a private Facebook,
it's
private
a
WhatsApp group. Yeah,
it's a Facebook ad that says if you don't make $20,000 to $30,000 in your private Facebook group in the next, it's either 30 days or 90 days, we'll work with you until you do. Which is actually a good. I mean, the fact that they'll work for free until they do it, like maybe they do, I don't know. But that's it's Jeffrey.
It's that kind of stuff, right? It's start a 6-figure coaching business in 90 days and that kind of thing. And it took me to get to past 6 figures in gross revenue with my one-on-one coaching. It took me 3.5 years. And I'm like pretty far past that now, which is cool. But like it took 3.5 years. And just like the shows, 90 episodes in 28 days, if we had started out of the gate saying, no way. I mean, I remember 1 episode a week was a lot at the beginning. Yeah. And so that's it. I think that we are focused on sustainability, long-term sustainability. I think that hopefully our listeners start to do that as well.
Yeah, that's my question. Next time you start something, are you thinking from that frame? How are you thinking when you're getting ready to start something? Are you saying, you know what? I just got to get off to the races with this and I'm going to crush it, or I want to make sure I'm still doing this a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. I got to make sure that I'm doing it sustainably. I think that's a mistake that you and I have seen often. And I'll say this, it's a mistake that I've made for sure in many things. I mean, early in pricing, our pricing was different, wasn't necessarily sustainable. It doesn't mean you can't correct it. I think that's an important facet too. You can always correct it, but if you can start with the end in mind with sustainability, I think you'll be off to the races in a better way. That's all I'll add. Next level nation. First of all, I can't believe we're at 1,101 episodes. Feels like we just crossed 1,000 episodes. Oh, also,
well, luckily we were focused on sustainability.
I don't know about that. Sometimes I wonder. Next level nation, I just want to give a huge thank you. Alan, I don't know if you've looked at, I haven't sent you the things yet. We had the highest listens we've ever had in a day. I think we had 3,400 or something, 3,500 listens yesterday. Yeah, so
nice.
Thank you to all of the amazing members of the NLU family. That was a pleasant surprise to wake up to. And I haven't sent you the numbers yet because I still got to do the finances. But I want to say thank you. We are very, very grateful, especially crossing 1,100 episodes. That's awesome. And as I try to reiterate and say often, we couldn't do it without you. We'd still be 2 guys talking into a microphone. There would just be nobody listening on the other side. And I remember what that was like, and it was not ideal. But I just want everybody to know that we appreciate every single one of you. And we always say this, and we mean it, and it's in the outro. We're going to have a new outro and all that. But if you ever do need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out. We will take time to respond to you and add value, because you add value to our lives. So we want to make sure we say that. Next level nation. Our 8th round of group coaching is starting on October 4th, 2022. Maybe you're a new listener and you're saying, what is this all about? So think of it this way. Alan and I can only add a specific amount of value on this podcast because we can only go so deep because we don't know what you're going through specifically. Everybody's going through different things. In group coaching, we can get right under the hood and say, okay, what are you struggling with? And then we make sure we touch on that throughout our 6 bi-weekly coaching calls. So if you are looking for a deeper dive, if you're looking for more results, more value, and an amazing community of people, please join our 8th round of group coaching. It is wildly affordable. I'm starting to realize this too, and I'm going to lean into this. Our pricing is unreasonably affordable for the amount of value that we're going to bring. We are an impact value first company, and our prices reflect that. So I guarantee it is more affordable than you think. And there's 3-month payment plans, 6-month payment plans. We just want to help you get to the next level. So if you're interested, please join.
Also, if you are strapped for cash currently, but you still want to join in on a community and get some private behind-the-scenes training / coaching / group coaching going on, we have monthly meetups. This is our 10th one. It starts on October 6th, 2022. It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that evening. We do these every single month. This next one is how to finally put yourself first. The question and the idea, the big idea here is, why is it that what's best for you is not what's best for others? What if what's best for you is what's best for others? You can't give away that which you don't have type of thing. For those of you who are listeners of this show, you tend to overgive at the expense of yourself. And givers need to set limits because takers have none. You got to set boundaries, and you got to learn how to put yourself first so that you can stay an overflowing cup. And we got a lot of good value for you there. So again, October 6th, 2022 starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our 10th month in a row of the monthly meetups.
Strong work, my friend. I'm trying to figure out. Hold on. So tomorrow's episode is last week's live Q&A. I haven't titled it yet because I'm a little bit behind, but I'm looking at the questions asked.
You're out here, Jeffin.
No, I did all the other episodes. I just didn't have time to do that one. Hold on. Let's do this. We will do, can you grow in the present if you don't spend time looking in your past? That will be tomorrow's live Q&A episode. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And again, big shout out to all the new members of the NLU family. We appreciate you all. As always, we at NLU do not have fans. We have family. We'll talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.